Educators show their collective power today at the state capitol. They're demanding lawmakers plunge more money into your child's schooling. Right now, Oklahoma ranks nearly dead last when it comes to per student spending, coming in 49th. 2 News anchor Russ McCaskey was at today's rally, and he joins us live from the state capitol to tell us about his experience. Russ?
Well, Karen, this was one for the record books. Things have calmed down now, but earlier today, about 25,000 teachers and administrators from all corners of the state of Oklahoma stepped out of the classroom today to rally at the steps of the state capitol. They say it's time to make education important in Oklahoma. Now, we talked with Republican State Senator Rick Brinkley to find out if today's rally will make a difference with lawmakers. He said absolutely.
I think at this point of the ballgame, everything is on the table as every option that we can find to be able to see where that money comes from and be able to get, again, the best bang for the buck that we can for the taxpayers.
So now the real work begins. About 8 weeks left in the legislative session. They have to find money to fund education. But again, today was about making education a priority. 2 News reporter Dan Perlman continues our team coverage. He was embedded with a group of teachers from Tulsa as they rode the bus to Oklahoma City. Dan?
Yeah, Russ, you know, they really are. Right now, these teachers are actually back in Tulsa getting ready for the school day tomorrow. Today, they may not have been in the classroom, but they tell me this was still very much a part of the job.
This is important to us, and we as the teachers want to have the voice.
The bus is filled up. No, not the yellow ones, and no, not for students. These are teachers.
Just wanted to go down to the Capitol.
Men and women just like Matt Trosper.
You know, support fellow teachers and support public education.
Together, they made the 90-mile trek and unloaded here in Oklahoma City.
It's amazing. I can't believe there's this many people here at the state capitol.
Lynette Schaus and her colleagues found their spot.
I think we're going to go this way a little bit.
Joining thousands to send a message to lawmakers.
They're going to have to make some changes.
Stickers on their shirts, surrounded by signs, restore education, learn more, earn more. These teachers tell me they've watched classes grow.
I have 23 children.
And school staffs decline, but they won't give up.
This is my calling, and this is what I want to do.
They just hope lawmakers don't either.
Our state won't progress if we don't really value education.
Yeah, and you know, Russ, one thing Lynette, who you just saw there, told me is that everyone out here votes, and if lawmakers don't make changes to education, it could impact their reelection. Back to you.
All right, Dan, thanks. You know, educators are getting a lot of support from both teachers and parents. I want to bring in 2 News reporter Patricia Santos. She's been getting reaction from them. Patty?
And you know, I talked to those parents and they tell me they believe that the state has enough funding to properly support public education, but they say other projects are taking a priority. That's why thousands of them representing schools across Green Country circled around the state capitol today. Now, some parents taking the day off from work to stand alongside the teachers in their communities. Others telling me stories about how families are now being asked to chip in for school supplies that should be funded through state tax dollars. Students say they've also noticed the need and want to be a part of the solution.
It's just kind of cool to see all the teachers support the stance of, like, the government needs to pay attention to everyone.
We need more money for the technology to teach our kids at school, and we need more money for school supplies so kids can do well.
Now at play here is funding for schools, which would hopefully increase teacher pay, but also they want changes to take the focus off of the standardized statewide testing. Out at the end of this rally, many of those parents, teachers, and students walked inside the Capitol here to tell lawmakers how they want them to vote on some upcoming legislation.
It's so interesting because you see that the kids seem to really get it, that they think they need more funds. All right, Patty, thanks. I should point out that this is only the second time in state history that teachers have called off class on what was scheduled to be a school day to rally at the state capitol. The last time resulted in those sweeping reforms known as House Bill 1017. For more on today's rally, let's send it back to the studio and Karen.
Russ, while thousands rallied outside the state capitol, a handful of representatives gathered inside to oppose more funding. Members of the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs say parents should be allowed to keep their tax dollars and choose where they want to send their children to school. They say a lot of money goes to fund public schools. Unfortunately, much of it soaked up by administrators' salaries.
My chief thought is this happens to be an unfortunate case of government employees lobbying for more government funds on government time. And between the years of 1998 and 2011, the full-time administration happened to increase by 49%. During that same time period, school enrollment increased by 6%. Therefore, we're having a reduced amount of dollars going into the classroom and more dollars going into nothing more than the education establishment.
Going in depth now, figures compiled by the National Education Association indicate that the starting salary for an Oklahoma teacher is $36,606 a year. The national average is just over $36,000. Right now, about 678,000 students are enrolled in Oklahoma public schools. And according to the Center of Budget and Policy Priorities, Oklahoma students have faced greater per student cuts than any other state. This isn't the first time that teachers and supporters descended upon the state capitol to support more education funding, as Russ mentioned just a few minutes ago. Right now, we're going to take a look back at that similar effort 25 years ago. 2 News reporter Rico Bush talked with a Tulsa teacher who pushed for education reforms then and now.
Here I am walking. It can work, and I'm confident it's going to work again this time.
Emily Wood flips through photos of her time back in the late 1980s. Memories of the day she spoke out to fight for education.
I think all of our great strides have come through people coming together.
She recalls 1989 when a similar education rally took place to push for education reform. 1 year later, Oklahoma Governor Henry Bellman signed a landmark education bill into law. House Bill 1017 reformed early childhood education, restricted class size, and raised teacher salaries.
I'm looking back and I'm remembering how 1017 was so wonderful.
Emily believes the sound of the chants those teachers, parents, and students united for change in 1989 will revive the same passion today. 25 years later, she and other teachers believe 1017's been slowly ripped apart.
I think this is one of the most important things in the state of Oklahoma, and I have confidence, deep confidence, that our legislators will do the right thing.
Just as Emily rallied for change then, she's hoping this show of unity now will again raise one voice to change Oklahoma education for the better.
It gives me great hope in Oklahoma. It gives me great hope in democracy.